Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.
गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन, आप सभी को ईद मुबारक मेरी तरफ से और लुकमान आईएएस टीम की तरफ से. ओके, सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू हैव द हिंदू एनालिसिस ऑफ 21st July 2021. Okay, so let us see which are the important articles from today's The Hindu newspaper. Yes, yesterday we talked about this Pegasus spyware row that happened, and yes, today many articles like editorial on page number 6, both articles. Spy in hand, Pegasus is India's Watergate moment. So yes, this both articles on page number 6 talks about the Pegasus spyware row that emerged yesterday, and yes, from mains perspective, GS2 paper, polity and governance part, what are the issues involved here, the concerns related to privacy, freedom of speech and expression and rule of law, all these aspects we are going to discuss here, very important. Then accepting radical otherness, on page number 7, op-ed page, a very good article talking about Indian society and how Indian society is very different from the other societies, and the uniqueness that was reflected recently. One of the NGO, Pew Institute of US, carried out one survey regarding the kind of religious harmony, brotherhood that we have, and the results were having very stark differences. So all these aspects are discussed in this particular article that becomes important from GS1 paper society part, GS4 paper ethics part, as well as essay topic. Also those who are having sociology optional subject, for them it is very, very important. Then for prelims examination, Supreme Court annuls pass parts of cooperative amendment. The context of this particular judgment, it is talking about 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011, which talks about organization of cooperative societies. So that becomes important from polity perspective, prelims examination. So yes, basics about this 97th Constitutional Amendment Act, which are the changes made by this Amendment Act in our constitution, all these aspects we have to cover here. Then best day ever, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, yes, blast into space on own rocket. So yes, we earlier talked about the space tourism, which is going to be the new tourism industry. So science and technology perspective, this is the second such, let's say, private space tourist activity was conducted by we can say that the private players. So yes, the developments are important from prelims perspective. Also you should be aware about the names of these companies, who were let's say what were the particulars about this particular rocket in which the person blasted into the space and came back. All these specifics are important for prelims examination. Then COVID-19 related developments at national and international stage that we are having as a follow up on daily basis. And lastly, practice prelims MCQs on today's current affairs. Yes, so first article on page number 6, there are two articles, editorial page, spy in hand, Pegasus is India's Watergate moment. Yes, so why it is saying that it is India's Watergate movement? Because yes, the Watergate controversy that resulted into, let's say, the NSA surveillance in USA. So similar kind of controversy happened with US government at that time. So similar kind of, let's say, controversy may emerge in India because of the Pegasus spyware concerns. Yes, let us understand the arguments against such surveillance. Yesterday we talked about the Pegasus spyware from prelims perspective, science and technology, cyber technology. Okay, now today we are going to discuss this from men's perspective. So yes, this shows some kind of, let's say, signs of state surveillance by the state, but such kind of surveillance which is not authorized by the law of the country, law of the parliament or the constitution. This is very much affecting the fundamental rights of the people. Let us understand the arguments against surveillance. So yes, whenever state conducts such a surveillance, it is in the name of national security. It is in the name of national security. Okay, or law and order yes, many such, let's say, provisions are there, but we have to understand that whatever the names in that Pegasus list emerged, around 1000 names, among them we can understand that let's say the former chief election commissioner or the judges, retired judges, or even the women who had the sexual allegations against former CJI. So that surely does not result into the concerns regarding national security. So why their names emerged here in that Pegasus list? So that remains the concern here. So arguments against the surveillance, first is the writer is very much giving the core relevance here, that surveillance is like salt. Surveillance is like salt. That means the necessary amount of salt in the food is good for health, even for the test. Okay, so yes, that is important for ensuring national security, but when it is, let's say, in excess amount in the meal, it actually, we can say, harmful for the body. Okay, so similar kind of thing is that the excessive surveillance by the state is not at all good for the country. Second important thing we have to understand, the excessive surveillance is against the freedom of speech and expression. Freedom of speech and expression, thought, freedom of thought, along with that right to privacy, considered as fundamental right under Article 21 through the Puttaswamy judgment by Supreme Court, right to privacy. At the same time, it is against a rule of law. Why? Because such kind of surveillance is not authorized by the, we are talking about the arguments against the surveillance by the state. So yes, it is against freedom of speech and expression enjoyed by the people, right to privacy of the people, and against the rule of law, right? So yes, the third aspect we have to consider here when we are talking about arguments against the state surveillance, that the very protection, or we can say the reason we are giving for restricting the civil liberties, that is national securities. This national security is provided to enjoy the civic liberties. Okay, so civic liberties like freedom of speech and expression. So such kind of civic liberties will not be able to enjoyed by the people unless and until the national security is ensured. However, even if we are doing such kind of surveillance in the name of national security, such kind of, let's say, restrictions on civic liberties actually does not result into national, or the restrictions on the civic liberties actually does not ensure the national security. Okay, so true nature of ensuring national security is not restricting the civic liberties to that extent. Okay, so such kind of arguments you can mention here. Then past examples can be mentioned whenever, let's say, such kind of snooping is done by the government or surveillance. In 2013 from Himachal Pradesh. So yes, the Himachal Pradesh government, newly elected government, raided the different police establishment in the state and recovered the private talks, telephonic conversation between different ministers and DSP, and we can say that the higher police officials in the state, and that was recovered from that raid. And we can understand that the nature of the surveillance which was not authorized by the law was going on in the state. Okay, so yes, such examples can be given. Along with that, the legal provisions we have to understand. What are the legal provisions for the surveillance by the state? First of all, section 92 of CRPC, Criminal Procedure Code in the country. It talks about let's say access to all the records, or we can say the telephonic conversation. Second is regarding the Telegraph Act. So rules under Telegraph Act. And then the third one is, we can say, section 69 and 69B of IT Act 2000. Okay, IT Act. So these three are important provisions in Indian statutes which relates to such surveillance by the government. So you should be aware about these legal provisions. Then the surveillance programs of the government fall short of 2017 Puttaswamy judgment of Supreme Court. So which are the surveillance program? For example, Netra, network traffic analysis, network traffic analysis, or if we can give another example like CCTNS, very important, crime and control, we can say trafficking network and system. Okay, networking and system. So crime and criminal trafficking, networking and system. So this CCTNS and Netra and such other, let's say surveillance programs of the government, they are falling short of Puttaswamy judgment of Supreme Court 2017. How? Puttaswamy judgment provides 3 tests to be passed for any kind of, let's say, restriction on privacy of the people. Which are these 3 tests you should be aware about? First thing is that restriction, any such kind of restriction on the privacy should be authorized by law. That should be authorized by law. So such kind of surveillance programs and intelligence agencies, they are not established, formulated under any law. Okay, so such kind of restriction on the privacy is not authorized by law. Second thing is that should be necessary, restriction should be necessary and proportionate. That means necessary means there is no other viable option available for, let's say, ensuring national security or that reason that is given, or the proportionality test. So such kind of restriction should be proportionate, not over, not under. It should be proportionate for the reason which is provided. And third thing, it is saying that it should serve legitimate state interest. Here in this respect, it is national security. It is national security. Now this is very important. You should remember these 3 tests. We are expecting question related to right to privacy, Puttaswamy judgment, very, very important. So all these surveillance programs and we can say that intelligence agencies, they does not pass the tests, these 3 tests put forward in Puttaswamy judgment of Supreme Court. Okay, so that's why again it is saying that this is going against the law. Now expert recommendation on intelligence agencies, this is also important. You should be aware in examination, in answers, you can support your arguments by writing the recommendations of these committees. First thing you should be aware, in 2013, one of the think tank of Defense Ministry, IDSA. Okay, so this IDSA is very good institute, think tank. You should visit the website of IDSA from time to time for inputs related to security, internal security, GS3 paper part and international relations GS2 part. Okay, very good articles by experts are written. Now one of the report by IDSA on intelligence agencies reforms. So this advocated for the legal framework for functioning of these intelligence agencies and parliamentary oversight. Their functioning should be under parliamentary oversight. This was suggested under this report. So you can write this in support as a way forward. And along with that, the second you can think is write is Sri Krishna Committee on Data Protection 2018. Sri Krishna Committee on Data Protection 2018. It was also viewed that after Puttaswamy judgment, the intelligence agencies which are not having legal basis except we can say NIA. So they are, if they are not having legal basis, surely they can be declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court unless and until they are given the legal framework. Okay, so these are the recommendations. As a way forward, what you can mention here, first thing is that government needs to protect right to privacy and other civic liberties of the people. Okay, so first thing. Second thing, we have to understand that we need to professionalize intelligence gathering. Professionalize intelligence gathering. Then we should ensure that unbiased working of intelligence agencies, and this can be ensured when there is legal framework. When there is legal framework, and through this legal framework they can be held accountable. They can be held accountable. This is very important. Okay, so in this manner you can write down the way forward also whenever we are talking about this surveillance issue. Now, what kind of question we can expect? Excessive and unaccountable surveillance imperils privacy, freedom of thought, of speech, and has a chilling effect on people's behavior. Discuss with reference to the recent row over Pegasus spyware. So, whatever the discussion we just had, you can write that in your answer. Okay, any question regarding this particular topic? Okay, yes. Let us continue with the next article on page number 7, op-ed page. Somehow, let's say some philosophical aspects are given in this article, but yes, this is important. Religious tolerance in Indian society, the context, accepting radical otherness. Let us understand what is given here. Yes, the findings of US based Pew Research Center survey. Yes, earlier we covered this in the Hindu analysis regarding the findings of this survey, but not analyzed. Now, this article analyzes these findings. What are the findings? So, yes, it is talking about the contrasting view of Indians on two aspects. First, religious tolerance, and second is religious segregation. Now, what are these two terms? It is talking about religious tolerance. Around 84% of the people surveyed in this Pew Research Center survey says that the religious tolerance is very important for Indian culture and tradition. This is rooted in our culture, and almost all people from different faiths, they said the same thing, that we accept the views of other people and their religious practices. This is the religious tolerance we have in the country. This is good thing, positive thing. But almost all the people also said that they favor living in their own community and marry in their own community. So this is showing that the people still favor religious segregation despite of such high level of religious tolerance in the country. Okay. So, these contrasting views are analyzed in this particular article. Let us understand that. After findings of this Pew Research Center, BBC Asia report stated that India is neither melting pot nor a salad ball, but a thali. So, whenever we write in an essay that the Indian society or Indian culture, like it is a melting pot of different cultures, that all the cultures melted, blended for giving a unique national identity in India, that is melting pot. And the second aspect, we call it as salad ball, that assimilation of different cultures happened in India, and the individual identities of these different cultures still retained by giving the national identity. So that is called as salad ball. So Indian culture, Indian society is described by various sociologists like melting pot, salad ball. But BBC Asia report said that it is neither melting pot nor a salad ball but a thali. Now thali says that different, let's say, items in your thali are segregated and they are, let's say, put in one thali, giving a national identity. That means they are having distinct identity, they are not assimilated with each other. There is segregation of these, let's say, cultures, and then there is national identity. So this is how it is expressed by this BBC report about Indian society. Let us understand the analysis here. The view of sociologist, famous sociologist Ashish Nandi, it talks about the Indian society as unheroic form of tolerance. This religious tolerance, he is saying, he is giving name that called unheroic form of tolerance. That means it is saying that we as the people of India from belonging to different faith accept the views of the other people, even help them whenever there is need. However, they does not have the heroic form of, let's say, benevolence, or we can say that whenever there is crisis situation, extending helping hand in that crisis situation to the people belonging to other faiths. This is, we can say that, unheroic form of tolerance. Unheroic form of tolerance. Then it is giving the example of Kochi city in Kerala. The writer, or we can say the sociologist Ashish Nandi analyzes the society, the people living in Kochi city of Kerala. This city has, let's say, history of religious harmony for almost last 600 years. There was no communal violence in the city. Okay, there was no communal violence, riots in the Kochi city, despite of 15 different, let's say, cultures and faiths, people belonging to them live in that country in the harmonious way. However, when the detailed questions were asked in one of the survey to these people, it suggests that there is deep rooted differences among these people. Okay, deep rooted differences in terms of their cultures and their, let's say, tolerance levels towards the religious practices. However, the kind of tolerance that is emerged among these different communities in that city in day-to-day life transactions. So there is some kind of acceptance level, tolerance level, and that does not go beyond that. Okay, so we can understand that this is the model of cosmopolitanism that we have in India, which is very different from the Enlightenment version. Now, what Enlightenment version of cosmopolitanism we should have, or we can say that can be there. Enlightenment version says that the kind of, let's say, brotherhood in the country, or the religious tolerance, or the national identity that we should have, the people should be having no prejudices towards the people of other community, other faith. So when there is no prejudices, then that results into Enlightenment version of cosmopolitanism. Okay, so yes, whenever there is any kind of, let's say, incident happens, the crisis situation, without any prejudices, the person of one faith should extend the helping hand to the person belonging to other faith or other community religion. So this is Enlightenment version. Now we can understand that we do not have that Enlightenment version throughout the country. In some parts we can understand that there can be, but such kind of Enlightenment version we can achieve only through removal of prejudices that we have. And these deep rooted prejudices in Indian society towards some of the, let's say, minority communities, or we can say religious, by the majority community, or we can say they are having with each other, these prejudices, that can be removed only through appropriate socialization by the society to these we can say children since childhood. Okay, so then only these prejudices can be removed. So yes, we can expect such kind of question. India is neither a melting pot nor a salad ball but a thali. Do you agree with this view? Just give justification to your view. If you are agreeing with this, give arguments in support. If you are not agreeing, give arguments against. Okay, so but you have to justify your view. So whatever the discussion we had, you can give reference to Ashish Nandi, sociologist, Kochi city example, all this as well. Fine. Any question regarding this? Now, Supreme Court annuls part of cooperative amendment. Now, this particular article, it is related to GS2 paper polity part as well as we can say prelims examination polity part. Now, Supreme Court is of the view that this 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011, which included part 9B in the Constitution, to some extent impinges on the powers, the legislative powers of states. Okay, legislative powers of the state. You should be aware that cooperative sector is the subject entry 32 in state list of 7th schedule of Indian Constitution. There are 3 lists in the 7th schedule: union list, state list, concurrent list. So yes, in the state list entry 32 talks about cooperative sector. So state legislature is having the domain, or we can say legislative powers, to legislate about cooperative societies, but through 97 Constitutional Amendment Act, to let's say powers of state government or state legislature are removed and union legislature is given some powers here. Let us understand what is given here. Yes, so this 97th Amendment Act dictated the term running the cooperative societies. The provisions in the amendment passed by the parliament without getting them ratified by the state legislature as required by the constitution. This went to extend the determining number of directors a society should have in the board of directors and their length of 10 years and even the necessary expertise. Okay, so yes, in the majority judgment, Supreme Court held that cooperative societies come under exclusive legislative powers of state legislatures. Now this is very good thing because recently there was Ministry of Cooperation. New ministry at union level is formed and the states were of the view that their powers will be taken away, but Supreme Court has ensured that the states enjoy their domain of power. Okay. However, Supreme Court has said that center has had power over multi-state cooperative societies. So multi-state cooperatives, there the regulation by the central government can be there. Let us understand the provisions of related to cooperative societies in Indian Constitution. Yes, what are cooperative societies? Cooperative societies are the voluntary formations. Cooperative societies are voluntary formations on the basis of, we can say that, one member, one vote principle. Along with that, it is talking about the equitable distribution of profits among the members of societies. These are the important principles. Okay, so voluntary formation, democratic member control, and then the economic participation of the member and let's say autonomous functioning. Fine. So yes, 97th Constitutional Amendment Act 2011 gave constitutional status to cooperative societies and protection to them. It made 3 important changes in the constitution. First thing, it made the formation of cooperative societies as the fundamental right under Article 19, the freedoms which are given under Article 19. So it is now made fundamental right to form a cooperative societies. Second thing is that it added the DPSP, Directive Principle of State Policies, under Article 43B, under Article 43B. Remember the article numbers, actually it is very important for our prelims examination. It talks about that state shall endeavor for, let's say, promotion of formation of these cooperative societies, their effective management. Okay, so all these aspects are covered here in this article. At the same time, it added the new part 9B in the constitution, providing the different provisions related to cooperative societies. Okay, so yes, which are the important provisions under this part 9B? Like, board of directors of cooperative societies shall consist of such numbers of directors as may be provided by state legislatures. but the maximum number of directors shall not exceed 21. Now this is decided by the constitutional provision itself. Then the state legislature shall provide for reservation of 1 seat for SC or ST community and 2 seats for women on the board. This is constitutional provision. Then the term of office of the elected members is 5 years from the date of election. Okay, along with that, no board shall be superseded or kept under suspension for period of exceeding 6 months. And accounts of every cooperative society shall be audited within 6 months of the closure of financial year. So all these provisions are there in the constitution itself, part 9b of the constitution. So try to remember these 3 changes made in the constitution by 97th constitutional amendment. Now, the best day ever, Jeff Bezos blast into the space on own rocket. The founder of Amazon, who recently resigned from the CEO position of the Amazon, yes, blasted into space on his rocket company's first flight with the people on the board, becoming second billionaire in just over a week to ride his own spacecraft. So yes, earlier last week, Mr. Branson, his company Virgin Galactic, so he also went into the space and came back in that space journey. Amazon founder was accompanied by a hand-picked group. His brother was there, 18-year-old from Netherlands and 82-year-old aviation pioneer from Texas. So youngest and oldest ever to fly in the space. So 10-minute flight was there. Blue Origin is the name of company established by Bezos. Okay. So the name of the rocket is New Shepard rocket, soared into let's say space from West Texas on 52nd anniversary of Apollo 11 moon landing. Date was chosen for its historical significance. Then yes, unlike Mr. Branson's piloted rocket plane, Mr. Bezos' capsule was completely automated and required no official staff on the board for up and down flight. So it was completely automated flight. So such differences you can remember for prelims examination. And Blue Origins reached altitude of about 106 km, more than 16 km higher than Branson's July 11th ride. Okay, so it was somehow to the higher distances, 16 km higher than the earlier flight of this Virgin Galactic company. Fine? Okay. Now, lastly, COVID-19 related developments. The government has recently said that it is funding 4 vaccines. So, center is funding the development of 4 vaccines which are currently in various stages of human trials. Which are these? Under Mission COVID Suraksha. Mission COVID Suraksha, the funding is being given. DNA based vaccine candidate by Cadila Healthcare, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Protein subunit vaccine by Biological E, Hyderabad. Adenovirus intranasal vaccine by Bharat Biotech, Hyderabad, Telangana. And mRNA vaccine by Genova Biopharmaceutical, Pune, Maharashtra. These 4 vaccines being funded, their development is being funded by the government. Now, 2/3 of the population aged above 6 have antibodies against COVID virus, according to data from Sero survey conducted by ICMR in June and July months. That means nearly 1/3 or 40 crore people are still vulnerable to COVID-19 infection, the study show. Now, this is to some good extent good news that we are moving towards the herd immunity. 2/3 of the population aged above 6 have antibodies against this virus, according to Sero survey. So you should be aware about the updates regarding the Sero survey and its findings also. Fine? Okay. Let us try to solve this question. What should be answer to this question? Yes. Option C. Okay. So, okay, let us see what question is talking about. 97 Constitutional Amendment Act made which of the following changes in the Constitution? Okay, so which of the following changes? So it is talking about the changes made in the Constitution. It made right to form cooperative societies as the fundamental right. This is correct statement. Article 19 of Indian Constitution, this was amended and this was made fundamental right. So first is correct. It included new directive principles of state policy on promotion of cooperative societies. This is also correct. That is, the article 43B was added in the Constitution and this DPSP was added here. It added new part 9A in the Constitution. This is incorrect. It did not add part A, rather part B. That is part 9B of Indian Constitution, not part 9A. Okay, so you should be aware exactly which part in the Constitution, schedule in the Constitution, articles in the Constitution were added through any particular amendment. Okay, so this is incorrect. So select the correct answer from the code given below. That means 1 and 2 is the correct here. So that's why answer should be B. Fine? Okay. Yes. So these were important articles. Any question regarding these developments? Okay, let us stop for today. We will meet tomorrow at the same time. Thank you.
Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.